Hello and welcome to ESC Fan TV's Retrovision 1972. Can you believe that this is the last Retrovision of the year? I can, because Eurovision's starting, all the songs are going to get released and we're going to be on here every 5 minutes going on about it. So anyway, let's welcome our panel. Let's say hello to Mick. Hi, Mick.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. What a cracking year we're going to be looking at.
And who have you come as?
I'm Vicky Leandros.
Nice. Well done, Mick.
Happy cherries, oak bottom.
I knew that was going to happen as soon as you looked at them. And next, let's say hello. Let's say hello to Brendan. Hello.
Hi,
Brendan.
everyone. Nice to see you again. It's going to be a good
And
show.
Who have you come as?
Benny Bjorg.
Nice.
Norway representatives.
Nice. And next we go to Paul and Andrew. Hi, Paul and Andrew.
Good evening. Everyone. Hi there.
Good evening.
And who have you come as?
I'm Veronique Müller from Switzerland.
And I'm Portugal, but I'm going to take my beard off now because it won't stay on. So
That's fair enough. It's if it won't stay on, best just give up.
I'm Italy instead. That'll be fine.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
And let's welcome Terry. Hi, Terry.
Unmute.
Yeah, Terry's on mute. No. You okay?
Hello, good evening.
Hi, Terry. And who have you come as?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. So I've come as Peter Doyle from the New.
Well, there we go. Terry's come as Peter Doyle from the News Seekers. We will work out his mic issues. Donna's just nipped for a wee. We'll talk to her in a bit. I've come as Fran.
No, she's there.
Hi, Donna.
Hello. Yes, I had to give you a bit of the flag because it'll give you an idea of where we're coming from today. I'm actually attempting, with a bad wig, to represent Agneta, I think it is, from the Family Four. So there we go.
Nice, very well done. I've come as France, and Phil yet again has come as the halftime show. Just some random bagpiper.
Yeah.
Where's your stick? You got a
Oh
stick?
yeah,
They all have
I've got a stick that I can do that with.
Yeah. There
And
you
marking
go.
along. Yeah.
So let's get on with it. So it was the 17th Eurovision. It was held in Edinburgh after Monaco won in 1971. Monaco wanted to hold an open air Eurovision, but they couldn't afford it. So they tried to get the help from ORTF, the French broadcaster, but they couldn't agree which country that they should have held it in. So they just didn't bother. So then they went to Spain and they went, nah, don't fancy that. So then they went to Germany and they went, nah, we don't fancy it either. So then they came to the UK and went, yeah, all right then, we'll do it. Why not? So it went up to Edinburgh, and it's still the only UK contest to be held outside of England. There were 18 countries participated, and they were the same 18 countries that participated in the 1971 show. It was held at Usher Hall in Edinburgh, and it was presented by Moira Shearer, who was an actress and a ballerina, and she was married to Ludwig Kennedy, and she ended up a lady. So that's quite fancy for the Eurovision show. That's not too bad. So, shall we get on with the first 6 songs?
Comme ça, Munkjollen drar.
Amanece, la lluvia moja lentamente mi despertar. La gente camina cerca de mi soledad. Yo sé de un lugar atrás del mar, donde el día brilla más cuando amanece. Un viento de esperanza de mañana cuando amanece.
Et slott, det kan vi, men hva vel det? Mot gleder som hverdagen gir. Og noen krav, slutt med ditt mas og kav. Ta en bil og smyg, det ingen tvil. Småting,
Rusle på stranden,
småting, skrive i sanden. Småting, se på en solnedgang. Se på en solnedgang. Se på en solnedgang. Småting, 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 småting.
So that was Germany with Mary Roos and Ne die Liebe lasset un... I can't read that. Uns lieben. Oh, God. Do you know what? I'm going to give in. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. That was Germany. Mary Roos with Ne die Liebe lasset uns leben. Only love lets us live. Then France, Betty Mars, Come Dee, Come Comedy. Ireland, Sandy Jones, Teal and Gar. I don't know, The Music of Love. Spain, Jamie Morey, Amananese, It's Dawning. UK, The New Seekers, Beg, Steal or Borrow, and Norway, Greta Korsland and Benny Borg, Smarting, little things or small things. So let's go to Donna. Donna, did any of these tickle your fancy?
Well, actually, it's another year that I really like the UK entry. And I actually have it on vinyl. Go figure. I really do love that song. It's one of my favourite UK entries. And they certainly didn't put on a shabby performance, did they? It's nice to feel good about the UK again. And this is definitely one of the times I can. I actually quite like the small ting. It's a lovely, cute little song, isn't it? Yeah, this first set's a really nice, happy bunch, and it's a good start, I would say. But they're my favourites.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Donna. Brendan, who are your favourites out of this 6?
Well, I think it'd be wrong to say that I didn't like Smarting. Yeah, very catchy, and it's a sweet song, and just maybe it's a little too simple, but yeah, absolutely brilliant in my eyes. Yeah, again, as Donna says, the UK entry is one of the best, probably out of the whole lot, really. I really liked Ireland, being in Gaelic, is it? And yeah, I think Ireland may need to sing more often in their own language. It's just such beautiful. So yeah, I think they're the ones that stand out for me from that bunch.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Mick, tell us about these. You might unmute yourself first, Mick, and then you could tell us about it.
Oh, yeah. I think it's one of the strongest starts to any Eurovision. You know, absolutely wonderful. I've always had a soft spot for Mary Roos, the German singer, and it was nice to see her in the the national final for this year, having a guest spot. So that was good. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Like Brendan, I just loved the Irish entry in Gaelic, Ceol Gra, I think it is. Just wonderful. And yeah, Ireland, come on, send another song like that. But like everybody, I think the UK is the one that really, really does stand out. But I've always loved the French one, and obviously Betty Mars as an Edith Piaf knockoff. I mean, come on, you can't go far wrong with that. And that's it.
You're on mute, Michelle.
Sorry.
That was Phil's fault. Phil's got the buttons. Terry, what did you think of this 6?
Hello, I do hope you can hear me because I'm having trouble hearing all of you.
Hear you fine. It's
Can you
lovely.
hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. That's good. So first of all, I'd like to say no disrespect to the Eurovisions of this decade, but the 70s to me is the prime of it all. I love the 1970s Eurovision so much. They don't feel the need to do any clever camera work. Nowadays, every second is taken up with all flashes and bangs and changes and lights. And to me, this is just so beautiful just to see a microphone stand, a singer, and just one static camera. Now, kicking off, of course, with the wonderful Mary Roos, who was such a big iconic singer of Germany of that decade and others to come. That lovely, great driving rhythm with the mid-tempo, which I really love. And it's a really typical song of German music at that time. The contest itself throughout has a fantastic sound quality. The microphones are really good and totally balanced with the orchestra as well. A really good percussion section you will hear in the whole of this Eurovision. Really, really stands out. France, Betty Mars. I wouldn't be surprised if France thought they were going to win with this song, because it's that great old-fashioned style chanteuse with that vibrato, like a classical operatic vibrato that vibratos throughout the note. And she's singing in her cheekbones, in her mask. So it's a great nasal quality. It's a really attractive sound. And that great rolling R's. She's got a rolling R's. Michelle, you've got a rolling R's, haven't you? And it just rolls along throughout the whole thing. You got rolling R's, haven't you, Michelle?
Definitely.
Now, Ireland, it's a nice breathy voice for this. It's a sweet tune. I don't have a lot to say. It's a bit airy-fairy for me. So I'm going to crack on with Spain. Now, if there wasn't another song later on that was in this competition, Spain would have my 12 points for sure. It's a masterclass on how to deliver a great pop song. The phrasing is fantastic. If you listen to the way he does it, his phrasing is, he doesn't actually stick rigidly to the tempo of the song, but he elongates his phrases and sings through the note, which is really clever. He does something incredibly clever and brave when he does the microphone throw towards the end. He takes in one mic and throws it to the other hand. To do that on live television takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts. His voice, the song is absolutely fantastic. I just love that song so much, and I've heard it a million times in my life. UK, of course, superb. I mean, I love the fact that all these people on the stage in Beg, Steal and Borrow, they don't have any choreography set. They're all doing their own thing. They're all feeling it naturally within themselves. And Lynn Paul is actually a lovely person. I met her just a couple of weeks ago because she's done the tour of the Calendar Girls recently on the UK tour. She sang a ballad in Act 2. She's still got a cracking voice. Amazing. Norway I'm going to pass on. And that's it from me for the time being. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Terry. Andrew and Paul, what did you think of these 6?
I loved all of them, apart from, I have to say, I disagree with Terry. I thought that Spain was a little bit boring, to be honest. However, the other 5 are just absolute classics. I just think, as someone said, that it's the best start of a Eurovision for a long, long time. Germany, Mary Roos, thought she was great. She was sang with big gusto, and the bongo percussion was loving it. France was just amazing. I just thought Edith Piaf, just, it's chanteuse, it's beautiful. Ireland, props for them for singing in Gaelic. Not particularly it wasn't a pleasant song, but not, not totally brilliant. UK has always been one of my favourite. New Seekers has always been one of my favourite songs. And Norway, smarting, love it.
I was just going to quickly say the UK, I thought it was absolutely fabulous, way ahead of its time. First group in Europe. I love the harmonies and the pop fusion, pop folk fusion. I thought that was wonderful. And I think it paved the way for ABBA in a lot of ways. The only other thing, I thought it was lovely to see France. She actually reused her wedding dress. And you've now stolen it as well, Michelle.
This is actually somebody's wedding dress.
And I just think it was, I would say, actually, I liked all 6 of the songs. I just thought they were all just beautiful. It's like they're so effortless when they sing this. And I think this is the one thing the UK now needs to do. We need to send a singer. We actually need to send somebody with a good voice and then work on that. Rather than get the song first, we need a singer. Sorry.
Brilliant. That's no, that's fine. Yeah. I'd just like to say that Beg, Steal or Borrow, our first Eurovision, we went to Vienna in 2016? 2015, sorry. And we drove there. So we drove from Europort. It took us 16 hours to get there. And Phil had made me a road trip Eurovision CD to play on the way there. That was an hour and a half long. And it had Beg, Steal or Borrow on it. And that's all we listened to all the way there. So it's obviously one of my favourites now because that's all. I heard it 2,000 times on the way there and on the way back. Phil?
Yeah, I'd just like to say I'm also a big fan of having bongo drums in a song. I thought the Spanish guy was a bit like a Spanish Tom Jones in the way he was sort of moving about in his style of singing. And I also thought Small Thing, the Norwegian song, was a little bit Disney-esque. If we were going to go over the comments, Dan and Tracy are just back from the holidays for 2 hours. So this was Tracy's, where was it? Tracy's first Eurovision, she said. Yeah, here we go. It's Tracy's first Eurovision, real corkers. There's been some discussion on the Irish language, with Lee asking, is it the first time it was Irish? And Marty saying yes.
It's the only time that we've had the first Irish. Time only,
yeah. But they go mad in apparently in Junior Eurovision.
Wow.
But yeah, lots of people really saying that they love the New Seekers.
Right then, let's move on to the next 6.
Okay, the next 6. Hold on a second.
Are we ready?
Venham solo, vinhas, flores, marés, canções, todas as cores, guerras esquecidas por amor. Que venham todos de vontade, sem se lembrarem de saudade. Venham os novos e os velhos, mas que nenhum me dê
Des mots sauvages et tendres, c'est la chanson de mon amour. Dans le bleu d'un ciel bleu en plein midi, dans ma nuit qui s'ennuie si loin de lui. Da-di-da-da-dam, da-di-da-dam-dam. Mon cœur s'est laissé prendre à la chanson de mon amour. Mon amour.
فتشت الريف بالراس فؤادي مش مستقصية اللي لمسة سيد شيني المحبك
Isto é sen. Sattumako ei mä tiedä sen.
On onnea surukin osaltaan, se vain elämänä täytyy oivaltaa.
Bleib nicht im Wald, Schmetterling, und beflieg dich nicht weiter. Falsch ist der Mond sein Schattenspiel, in der Dämmerung ist kein Haar.
Bei Themen wie Zeit, die verrinnt, wie Sand in der Hand verweht verwandt. Es ist nicht ein Flügel, so recht an Küsten zu spät liegt. Weil nicht in die Sonne. Bei Themen wie Zeit, die verrinnt, wie Sand in der Hand verweht verwandt. Es ist nicht ein Flügel, so recht an Küsten zu spät liegt. Bei Themen wie Zeit, die verrinnt, wie Sand in der Hand verweht verwandt. Es ist nicht ein Flügel, so recht an Küsten zu spät liegt.
Erano i giorni dell'arcobaleno, finito l'inverno, tornava il sereno.
So that's Portugal, Carlos Mendes, A Festa da Vida, The Party of Life. Switzerland, Veronique Muller, C'est la chanson de mon amour, It's the Song of My Love. Malta, Helen and Joseph, Limhaber, yeah, Love, if anyone speaks Maltese. And Finland, Päivi Purni and Kim Floor, Mustatan, Do You Remember? Austria, The Milestones, Falter in Wind, Butterfly in the Wind, and Italy, Nicola de Bari, Gioni dell'Arco Baleno, The Days of the Rainbow. Terry, what do you think of these six?
Oh,
That's all right. We'll go to Andrew and Paul. Andrew and Paul, what do you think of these six?
Right. Again, I think they were all actually beautiful songs, and I think they float along, and it's like you're being washed over by warm water or something. It just seems so beautiful. I would like to say I loved Malta. It sounds like the incidental music from a lot of sort of like 70s films, like the Carry On films and Up the Buses. And I loved the brass and the trumpets. I thought that was brilliant. I also loved Austria. And it was nice to see that, and this is one for the kids, Phil, David Hamilton was in the backing group. So I thought that was quite good to see. And I just thought Portugal, it bounced along. It was just energetic. Loved it.
Yeah, I loved them as well, most of them. Malta. Yeah, I'd live for that song. It's amazing. If that was their first entry, as somebody said in the chat, you know, that was a stunning first entry. Switzerland, obviously, I quite like that because, you know, that's who I've come as. Veronique. Finland, sort of weird, sort of Schlager song, Finnish Schlager, and then it turns into sort of something you'd hear in a Greek taverna when they're smashing plates. So yeah, that was a bit weird. Austria,
Beautiful, though.
Very good though. Yeah, Austria, the Milestones. Yeah, I think if the New Seekers put a new album out, the first track would be the biggest seller, and obviously that would be, you know, the Beg, Steal or Borrow, and the Austria track was very, very similar. It would be the very last track on side 2. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Terry, let's go back to Terry. Terry, can you hear us?
I can. Sorry, I didn't hear my name being called out before. So yeah, I'm on. Hello. So music is such an individual thing, and we all have different tastes. And out of all the thousands of songs from Eurovision, it's obviously very hard to pick a top 10 of all time, but Portugal 1972 is in my top 10 of all time. So of course it gets my 12 points from this particular year. I'd like a pound for every time I've heard this song in my life. It's actually before my time, but I've heard it throughout, you know, many decades now. It's just fantastic. I don't know what it is about the song or about the singer, but it just gets me every single time. I love a mid-tempo beat. I love the fact that the backing singers all crowd round one mic, and especially the lady, as we're watching the screen, the lady on the right, she can't wait to get in with her R's, and she plunges herself in, and all the others are trying to get there, and it's just such a wonderful, wonderful sound. It's an amazing tune. And again, big it up for that percussion section. That drummer deserves a medal throughout the night. He's really going for it, and it really blends. It's not overpowering. Switzerland, I'm not keen on this. I don't really like an acoustic guitar, but I have to give her congratulations for getting on that stall in time, because she bombs on, and then the orchestra starts playing, and she's still walking towards the stall. She then has to navigate the stall, get on it, and then start plunking away. So good on her. Malta, very pleasant. Nice to hear the Maltese language and the couple in their pink swaying away. It's very nice. Finland, it's a nice, bright, marching rhythm. It makes you want to get up and have a good old march around the room. Nice harmonies in thirds. And I say that because later on we hear some very intricate harmony coming from Sweden, but that'll come a bit later on. The man, he looks very much like a Viking. I mean, he could be on a Viking ship tomorrow. It's a bit like a Fiddler on the Roof sound. You know that song, To Life, L'Chaim, in Fiddler on the Roof? It's got that same feel to it. Austria, I think Austria actually is probably the most current of 1972 of all the songs in this year. I think if you go back to that era, this would be such a current song, because it's got a very similar feel to the Mamas and the Papas, you know, California Dreaming, that kind of sound. Very hippies, 70 vibe, that kind of flute in the background, which is very, it's very much a 70s thing. If you think of This Is the Dawn of the Aging of Aquarius, that kind of song, with sort of power and love and all that business. Love Man, hey. I love the man in their corduroy jeans with the flares at the bottom. Very flashy, very, very nice. We didn't get on to Italy, did we, Michelle? Is that coming up?
No, it was there, Terry. I think you just glitched out. It was the bloke who looked like Sid Little.
I know, I'm not having a very good night with my computer, but as long as you can hear me, that's a good thing. So this man was extremely popular in the hall. He had a lot of fans. They were cheering and shouting before he even came on. He's obviously very, very famous. Don't know who he is, but gorgeous, rich baritone sound, lovely resonant chest vocals, and a really great build. And it's lovely to hear that Italian language coming across. I really liked this song. But Portugal is the one for me. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Terry. Brendan, did you like any of these six?
They were all good. It was a great tempo throughout. I think they are doing it well. Then the positioning of each song worked very well to compensate each other. I think Malta. All I'm drawn to is he looks like Harold Steptoe from Steptoe and Son, and I was fixated on that. So I don't actually like the song, but I'm drawn to it because I think it's him, which is absolutely brilliant. Portugal, yeah, he just belted out. It's absolutely brilliant. And then Italy, I think it's just such a great voice. I think it's a bit too slow for me, but Italian's fantastic language, and just being able to listen to anyone with a great ballad is always good for me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Brendan. Bill, did you like any of those?
Yeah, I really like Portugal. I thought that was great, and Malta. I thought Malta was good. It was a bit sort of folky. And also, I like how they seem to have matching outfits that probably were made from a tablecloth or something. I don't know. And I thought Finland was okay, but there's a bit of la 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 la. But yeah, they were my favourites. I think Portugal and Malta.
Brilliant. Thanks, Phil. Donna, what did you think?
Oh, this is a great section, actually. This to me sounded some of the most 70s out of the whole whole section. And I was only late 70s when I was born, so I can't really say for sure. But to me, in my mind, that it's great examples of 70s. But I like them all, quite honestly. The Italian chappie, he's quite well known in Italy, and he's considered one of the sort of sacred sounds in their back catalogue. He's one of these people that would be celebrated in Italy, so it's quite a big thing to have him in Eurovision as well, considering they didn't necessarily really watch too much of it. The 70s was certainly better than it was in the 90s, but he only came second, I think, at Sanremo that year as well, so interesting. Austria I really like. And I think it is because those 70s sounds come back round again and again and again. Same as the fashions come back round again and again. It's one that sticks in my head, this particular one. I don't know if it's because of his voice, his look, or just a combination of the whole performance that they put on. But I do really like the Austrian one. It's a good song. Who else? But I think I have to actually go with Terry on this one. I love Portugal. This is one of my favourite songs that Portugal have ever done. He's got such a gorgeous voice, and the way he presents it. The backing singers are a little off-putting, and I think that camera angle as it sort of zooms up to them on their little pedestal, and it's almost like they're fighting to get the microphone at one point. But I just love that song, and it should have done better. I think it was someone in the comments, was it Matt, who'd said it should have done better, and I totally agree. Malta, I actually quite like the fact that they sang in Maltese. We don't hear it enough at all. It's quite a varied language because it's influenced by so many different nations that have conquered them over the years, and there's a lot of Arabic and things in there, so it's nice to actually hear it in a song. I suppose that one, if I had to be cliche, sounds the most 70s to me, I think, in its orchestration, and I think it's probably a pair of curtains or somebody's hand-me-downs that they've just put a little bit of lace on and decided to reuse the fabric in a more convenient way, because make, do and mend was a very big thing at that point. Who else have we got here? Who have I not mentioned? Oh, Switzerland. How could I forget Switzerland? That's the most fantastic outfit, I think, of the whole evening, I think. And a good effort down there from my colleagues on the panel with the outfit there. Definitely one that I think they should bring back into fashion, but also with a good voice. So that's enough of me rambling.
Blimey,
I
Donna.
enjoyed this section.
Really? I couldn't tell. Are we still on air?
Oh, shush.
Oh, and finally, Mick, what do you think of this 6?
Oh, well, not only was it the strongest start, but I think it continued to be strong as well through this selection. And I think 1972, I mean, we're coming to the next lot, and by God, they get even better. It's a bit like a roller coaster, starts off good, the middle falls off, then we come good at the end. With this one, I think 1972, and again, now everybody's saying Portugal, belting that one out. Portugal and Finland, my two favorite Eurovision countries. And God bless Finland for saving, keeping the Eurovision la-la-la-la-las going, not letting them die out. This is what we want. We don't want the Eurovision la-la-la-la to die out. Somebody's got to keep going. But I think the one I've always had a soft spot for is Malta. And a bit like Ireland, I think Malta should send a song in Maltese again. They can't do any worse than they've been doing recently. But I think, the Maltese was lovely. And, I did grow up in the 70s, yes, I know it's hard to believe I am that old, but, where the 70s, where the men's hair was bigger than the women's and no pair of curtains was safe.
It definitely wasn't. And net curtains, any sort of curtains were not safe. Well, on that bombshell, shall we have a look at the last 6?
svoj svijet svatko gradi sam, koji vodi ljubavi, koji vodi sreći toj, svatko traži sam. Muzika i ti, to je onaj svijet u kojem sreću nađoh ja. Muzika i ti, je himna jedne vječne ljubavi. Morgonsol glittrar i viken, dagen gryr sista gång, blinkar hanefin. Comment s'aime, mon amour, le poème des je t'aime, chanté d'un unisson, la chanson. La 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 la. Comment s'aime, mon amour, sans problème, c'est ma thème de toujours. Comment s'aime mon amour. On aime à la folie ou pas du tout. L'amour n'est rien quand il ne rend pas fou. On aime à la folie ou pas du tout. L'amour n'est rien quand il ne rend pas fou. Mais on fait dire au plat n'importe quoi. On aime un peu, beaucoup, et on le croit. Mais on fait dire aux fleurs n'importe quoi. On aime un peu, beaucoup, et on le croit. Avec nous,
Om nog vandaag van jou te zijn.
na 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 na, wat zou je doen om nog vandaag voor mij te zijn?
Hey!
Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
So there we had Yugoslavia and Teresa with Musica E.T., Musica New, Sweden, Family 4, Holiga Sommardag, Lovely Summer's Day, Monaco, Anne-Marie Goddard and Peter McLean, Comme on Sam, How We Love Each Other, Belgium, Serge and Christine Gisoland, À la fois ou pas du tout, Passionately or Not at All, Luxembourg, Vicky Leandros, Après toi, After You, and the Netherlands, Sandra and Andres, Als het om de lief gaat, When It's All About Love. So let's go to Mick. What did you think, Mick?
Oh, how to finish a Eurovision Song Contest. Come on. I mean, it just builds and builds. Absolutely cracking selection again. I think Teresa was a huge star in Yugoslavia, down in that area. And yeah, amazing song. I just loved the Belgian serial killer singing and the Vera Duckworth backing singers. You know what I mean? Come on, it had everything. Leading up to the absolute classic Vicky Leandros, and oh my God, what a tune, an absolute tune. That is in my top 10 of all time, has to be. And not only were you know, the Eurovision La La Las saved this year, but the Eurovision Na Na Nas. Well done, Netherlands, keeping us going. What a bouncy tune to finish. That's how you finish, on a high, going there. And like all the other nations, I'm trying to think back where, you know, they had to sing in the home language round about this time now. But yeah, Sweden, send something in Swedish.
Well, we don't like making Mick angry, do we? Sweden, send something in Swedish. Mick said, don't make him angry. I don't like it when he's angry. Phil, what did you think of these?
I thought they were a cracking set of songs. The Yugoslavian song, I thought the choruses were a bit sort of slow, but the verses were slow, but the chorus was cracking. I loved that. And I also liked Sweden, but it was a bit sort of predictably Swedish, maybe. The Belgians, what can we say about the Belgians? I love a ginger comb over. There were a few more comb overs, weren't there?
It looked a bit like Bilotti.
Yeah, because one of the guys in the Austrian band had a bit of a blonde comb over with his long hair, and I also thought that the backing singers looked like they were Dolly Parton impersonators. But yeah, I've got to say that Luxembourg was definitely a cracking song, absolute belter, and she sang it brilliantly. So yeah, the Netherlands was good. It was a good jolly song to finish on. So that's kind of really my take on things.
Okay, thank you very much, Phil. Andrew and Paul, what did you think?
You're on mute again, my loves.
We're on mute.
Can't hear you, Paul and Andrew.
Here we go.
Yeah, so the Belgian song I thought was lovely. I did think Dolly Parton had been cloned and that there were 3 Dolly Partons there. I thought Netherlands was wonderful. It was classic Eurovision. I always thought they were actually singing about a circus coming to town. But I have to say, Luxembourg, for me, that's just how you do it. There were no gimmicks. It was just wonderful. And I still say, if that was entered next year, it would win.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely beautiful song.
And myself, I don't know whether I was allowed to stay up. I was 6 when on this contest, maybe 5 or 6. I'm not sure if I was allowed to stay and watch it, but I always remember the Netherlands song. Oh, I think I must have heard it somewhere, maybe on the afternoon preview show, and I fell in love with it. It's always been one of my favourite songs, just because it's so jolly, you know. But yeah, I didn't really appreciate Luxembourg at the time, but now obviously you know that it is number 1. It's one of the top songs of Eurovision ever.
I just want to very quickly butt in and say Yugoslavia. Oh. I love the fact that, and I don't know if this is the first one, and maybe one of the viewers will be able to tell us, was that the first time that the Charlotte Pirelli head toss was done at the end of the song?
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Yugoslavia was a fabulous song. Yeah, it was a little bit slow in the chorus, as Phil said, but you know, massive chorus, strong voice, and an epic ending. So, yeah, Sweden was okay. Yeah, singing Swedish.
And apologies, I've got to go out and try and rescue the cat out of the garden.
Oh, okay then. Well, we'll see you in a bit. Brendan, are your fish all right? They don't need rescuing, do they?
No, they don't drown. It's all right.
What did you think of this bit?
Yugoslavia is the one that stood out for me. It's just a lovely song. It builds so well, and obviously, as anyone will know, Serbo-Croat language to me, it just somehow always hooks me, and it's just a brilliant song overall, and the language. Sweden was a bit dull. I didn't work well for me. Yeah, Belgium, I put down could do better, but I think it was more the comb over ginger bloke was maybe off-putting. I'm not sure. It just drew you in, but you didn't want to be drawn in. And obviously the Netherlands, it's very Dutch, isn't it? Very, very Dutch, but it was still enjoyable and a good ending.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Brendan. Terry, what did you think of the last 6?
Well, I haven't got any fish apart from my chili prawns, but that's another story. So yes, well, these songs. Well, if it wasn't for the fact there were 17 others in it, I think Yugoslavia would have won because it's a great big ballad. It's fantastic. There's a lot of drama going on in this. I love watching her mouth particularly. She's got great open vowels in the chorus and a great build in that tempo from the verse going through to the chorus. Moving on to Sweden, the Family Four. Now, this is a very uplifting, sweet little ditty that bounces along, but underneath, there's so much undercurrent, so many layers of magnificence in this song with the harmonies. It's very Stephen Sondheim-esque in the clashing, beautiful, discordant clashing harmonies that go on in those 3 and 4 part harmonies. There's a lesson to be learned as well in this song, because in musical theatre, which I am in, we're always told that less is more on so many occasions. Rather than let everything all hang out and go completely crazy, you have to go into your inner core and sing and act from within yourself, from right in the depths of your core. Now, the lady with the dark hair does a masterclass of this. If you watch her, bearing in mind she's got millions of people watching her, and she could go on that stage and go crazy, but no, it's so beautifully contained. Just the odd little head movement, the odd little tilt, and the blending voices. It's an absolute joy to listen to this. And I know they would have spent hours and hours in the studio working on blending those voices together to make that sound. It doesn't come in 5 minutes. That sound is magnificent. I think the sound they make is probably better than the song itself. And that's why they probably didn't come way up the top. Monaco, this one, it could easily be lost in the mix. It could be swept under the carpet because it's kind of an also-ran. However, I really like it and I find it delightful and very easy on the ear, and it just drifts along nicely. Belgium, love the guy's acting and the pulling of the petals. I like his pulling of the petals. And nobody said it, but I think they're 3 Barbara Windsors over there on the side. I think it's Babs, to be honest. Luxembourg, of course, is brilliant. It's my 4th favourite song this year. It's a worthy winner, don't get me wrong, but there's
no spoilers.
Sorry?
No spoilers.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
the
didn't win
results
at
are-
all. It didn't win. It came 17th. It didn't win Boys and Girls, Mums and Dads. No, of course, it should have done, but it didn't. And it's got a great dynamic delivery. It just keeps on moving. The Netherlands. Now, they could have won because this song finishing last in the running order, it's a great finish and people would go 12 points, 12 points. Of course, well, did it win? I don't know, maybe. Now, Sandra Raymer, of course, is fantastic and she's been in the Eurovision many times. She was a big star, probably even then. So to match her personality is a tall order. And the other guy did exactly that. It was brilliant, wonderful. What a fantastic selection of 18 songs. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Terry. Donna, in 10 words or less, tell us what you thought of this 6.
It were great. Sorry. Said 10 words or less. No, I can't top what everybody else has said. Mick kind of summed up a lot for me. Terry's just done a hell of a lot more. And yeah, I think my favourite out of the whole last section of the group has to be, well, Luxembourg. She deserved it, I think. Her vocal and delivery was absolutely fabulous. The energy that carries on. And I think the French language needs to be sort of sung a little more forcefully and dynamically to give it that drama. And she got the balance perfectly right, I think, there. So she was my favourite out of that lot. Belgium, definitely the worst in most of this section, if not the whole contest. I'm sorry, the guy's creepy. He's very sleazy when he goes up to that lady and is just like, oh, I'm just going to pour over you, love. Oh. And then you got the Vera Duckworths up the pack. Not sure what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing. But no, Belgium is definitely a last placer for me. As for the others, absolutely lovely. And I think Sweden could have done a little... They've made the song a little bit too bland. That's the problem. And I think Sweden have this thing where they like to perfect things too much and then iron out some of the little imperfections that we would latch onto as a kind of, oh, I like that. Yeah, it's too sweet and nice and gets lost in the pack. So sorry, Sweden, you keep doing what you keep doing.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Donna. Now, before we get to the results, the halftime show was it was Phil. It was actually Phil in 1972. He learned to play the bagpipes, and he went all the way to Edinburgh to do the halftime show. Now he's going to tell us just a few. He thinks they're interesting facts about the halftime show.
Yes, the halftime show wasn't in the stadium. It was half a mile away at Edinburgh Castle, which apparently is also where the jury was voting from. It was the pipes and drums of 8 Scottish regiments, and the tune was the Inverness Gathering. But the real swizz of the whole thing was they weren't there at all. It's actually stock footage from the 1968 military tattoo that they played, which explains why the audience for that is bigger than the audience in the arena watching the show. So yeah, it was all a massive fiddle, but at least they managed to march up and down without their hats falling to pieces, which is probably better than I'm going to do by the end of the show.
Oh, right. Sorry, I had half an hour to make a bear skin, and it's better could do.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So thank you very much, Phil, for those interesting facts about the halftime show that was not actually a halftime show. We were absolutely just swindled. Absolutely, you'd never get away with that nowadays. Never. Not in a million years. So before we go to the results, Terry's just going to explain a bit about the really weird. Mick. I know. Look at the panic in Terry's face. Mick is going to say a few words about the weird voting that went on.
Indeed, I think. After that bombshell, I'm gobsmacked. I don't know if I can carry on, but I'll try. But after the debacle of the 4-way tie in 1969, which upset quite a few countries, I think Eurovision was trying different ways of how to prevent that, and I think they came up with a right Bobby Dazzler way of doing it this time. There was each jury was composed of 2 people of 2 different age groups, and they were in the Great Hall of the Edinburgh Castle. And I always wondered whether, if the UK didn't like their voting, whether they'd be sent down to the dungeon there, but, never to be seen again. Because let's face it, not seeing any of those jury members ever again. What's happening there? But you could do a minimum of from 1 to 5, so a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 10. So there was no nil point this year. Nobody got nil point. So it could mean that you could score no fewer than 34 points and no more than 170 if you were sad enough, if you were eager enough to work that out. And poor Malta, they got 48, so they only just managed to get, enough. So, but lovely Moira Shearer reclining in a wonderful easy chair, space age easy chair. No crackly phone lines for her, as befits her. And I loved it how each one would, give their score on 1 to 5, pull it up and show the audience. And there was this disembodied voice just telling you what the scores were, just in case you couldn't do mental arithmetic quick enough. And oh my God, some of the voting, wasn't it brutal? I mean, I thought that poor Spanish young woman, I mean, somebody cheer her up. I don't think she got off number 1 for like halfway through the voting. I mean, good God, what's wrong with you, woman? And in fact, I think the Spanish jury, somebody must have upset them, because I think they were the stingiest jury going. There was lots of ones coming from them, but apart from Luxembourg, they did like Luxembourg. So, they managed it. And of course, what you would see is, each jury member getting their little moment of fame, which, the jury spokesman now still try to get their little moment of fame. But I think the Portuguese and the Monaco young gentlemen certainly caught my eye. And I think in future years, some of the jury members did get a little bit more flamboyant, shall we say, presenting their scores. And I think that's why the EBU went to the system that we all now know and love.
Well, thank you very much, Mick. If anyone who's watching hasn't watched the voting for this year, even if you don't watch the show, the 1972 show, go and watch the voting. It is one of the most brutal things you will ever see in your life. And if you try to do it nowadays, oh, the abuse online would be ridiculous. That each jury member, can you imagine just studying? Yeah, we'll give them this number, and it's like, oh, it was fantastic. Go and watch. Just go and watch the jury voting. It was fantastic. So let's see what the result was, because we don't know, do we? We've no idea.
And now here we are in the Great Hall of Edinburgh Castle, built 500 years ago. And our jury of 36 locked up an hour ago, puzzling away just as you must be doing at home with your own red carpet and your suits of armour on either side of the telly. How are you getting on? It's confusing, isn't it?
Will the jury please stand by? Germany, France and Ireland. Your votes please for the United Kingdom.
23 votes.
For Luxembourg.
26 votes.
Thank you, Germany,
Vicky
France and
Leandros in
Ireland.
the lead at the moment for Luxembourg. United Kingdom second with
Spain,
23.
United Kingdom and Norway. Your votes please. The United Kingdom.
12 votes, making a total of 35.
For Luxembourg.
20 votes, making a total of 46.
And for the Netherlands.
25 votes, making a total of 45.
They're leading the second round.
Switzerland and Malta. Your votes please for the United Kingdom.
14 votes, making a total of 49.
Luxembourg.
17 votes, making a total of 63.
Luxembourg well out
For the
ahead.
Netherlands.
14 votes, making a total of 59.
Finland, Austria and Italy.
Now it gets
Your votes
very exciting.
please for Germany.
17 votes, making a total of 66.
The United Kingdom.
21 votes, making a total of 70.
That's a wonderful vote. 23.
For Luxembourg.
23 votes, making a total of 86.
86. Luxembourg well in the lead.
Yugoslavia, Sweden and Monaco. Your votes please for Germany.
21 votes, making a total of 87.
For the United Kingdom.
24 votes, making a total of 94.
For Luxembourg.
25 votes, making a total of 111.
Belgium, Luxembourg and the Netherlands. Your votes please for Germany.
20 votes, making
And
a
this
grand
is
total
the
of
last and
107.
decisive round.
The United Kingdom.
Hold your breath.
20 votes, making a grand total of 114.
114 in the lead at the moment.
Your vote?
So
17
United Kingdom
votes,
and New
grand
Seekers
total of 75.
still in the lead. Make the most of it, because I've got the feeling it won't be for long.
For Luxembourg.
17 votes, grand
They've
total
done it.
of 128.
They've done it. She's done it. Vicky Leandros for Luxembourg, 128. So the United Kingdom is second, as we so often have been in the past, but many congratulations to Luxembourg.
And to present the Grand Prix to the author-composer of the winning song, we have the artist who sang the winning song last year, Un banc, un arbre, une rue, Séverine.
A great triumph for Vicky Leandros for Luxembourg.
So there we have it. Did we all know the result? Were they your number one? Who'd have thunk it? So the top five were Luxembourg, the UK, Germany, Netherlands, and Austria. And the bottom two were Belgium and Malta. Oh. So we'll just quickly Now I said quickly, everyone listening, go round and see if everyone thinks this was a deserved winner, but were the bottom two robbed. Let's start with Terry.
Well, that was a lucky guess, you see, because I said that Luxembourg won. I had no idea. No, I think that Portugal should have won and Spain should have come second, in my humble opinion, and Sweden third. Although, yes, it was a worthy winner. It was fantastic. And the jury members, by the way, may I just say, they are all named on Google. So if anyone wants to find any of the jury members, they're there. You can find them on Facebook. You can write to them, have a little chat about their points or about their life, their daily life, anything you like. I thought it was fantastic. And I've always wondered, after the show, did they all the contestants go to the castle and meet the jury members and have a nice big party? Thank you very much.
No, they didn't, Terry. The jury members went home and were never heard of again. And the others just went out and had a party. Paul and Andrew, do you think Malta were robbed? Malta should not have come 18th, surely. You're on mute.
Okay. Goodness, no. They were one of my favourites. I definitely shouldn't have come last. Don't know what was wrong with those boring people.
I just want to say it was lovely to see all the gentlemen in bow ties, and I thought that was lovely. And I just thought the one thing this year was a classic year. There wasn't really a bad song. There were songs that maybe weren't quite as good as each other, but they were all good songs. And they all, I think what was really sweet to see is all the artists actually looked like were really enjoying themselves and they were happy to be there. And I think that's beautiful to see.
It is. That makes a change.
Just quickly add, slightly off topic, the commentary, the BBC commentator, I absolutely thought it was amazing. He was very, very polite and very informative. And the bloke doing the scoring, really, I'm absolutely convinced it's the bloke from Grandstand who did the polls, the football scores.
It possibly could be. I did not look into that. So
sounds just like him.
That's your homework.
Yeah.
No, it's not, because once this is done, it's done. Brendan, do you think Luxembourg was a worthy winner?
Yes, it's a classic. I think the overall positioning and how they all end up was about justified. I think it was a good result.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Brendan. Mick, do you think the Netherlands, who only came fourth, had the best outfits ever?
Oh God, yeah. I was looking everywhere in all the charity shops or something like that. I mean, that is absolutely 70s psychedelic colouring all over. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and it is one of my favourite Dutch entries, and I did get a little discombobulated. The Spanish jury were very mean to the Luxembourg win. It was to the Netherlands that they were, finally woke up and gave points to. So, I think it was for the outfits, obviously it just dazzled them completely. And UK, second again. Hurrah!
Yeah, it's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Donna, right result?
Yeah, I think so. Although I'm a bit sad for the New Seekers, because I personally would have preferred that to be my winner. Yeah, you can't really argue with that. It was a very good year, though, so I'm very happy to have been part of this and watched it all through again. As I said before, it's one of those things that you might miss some absolute classics if you only stick to the more modern contests. So it's good to go back and have a watch of some of the older ones that maybe are before your years and give it a watch, because there's some absolute brilliant songs in there.
There absolutely is. Even I wasn't born when this was on. Phil was, but I wasn't. But Phil, Austria, they came fifth, even though they looked like they just turned up. Do you think if they'd made an effort in what they were wearing, they'd have come higher?
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, you've only got a limited appeal if you're a bunch of hippies with a flute.
I told you not to say the word hippies.
All right, okay. But yeah, it was a good song. But I think it was outshone by Luxembourg and the UK. And I agree with the top two. I might have put them the other way around, but yeah, they were the top two songs, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Phil. So next week, It's episode 5 of the A to Z of Eurovision. We're only on episode 5. I'm not even sure how many episodes there are. But don't forget that you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, Mastodon. I think that's it. You could probably write a letter, but I'm not going to tell you where anybody lives. But yeah, I think that's it. Just find us. Like, comment, share. Make sure you ding a dong or bell. Make sure you like everything. It helps with all the algorithmy thingies and complicated doodah whatnots. But it's just left for me to say thank you very much to our brilliant panel. So we say thank you very much, Donna. You're not watching. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers,
It's been
Donna.
fabulous.
Thanks for paying attention. Thank you very much, Mick.
Oh, thank you, everybody. It was lovely to go down memory lane once again.
And thank you very much, Brendan.
Thank you for having me. It's been another great show.
Oh, thank you very much, Andrew and Paul.
Thank you so much for having us, and I hope everybody's enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We have.
Been a pleasure.
And thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you very much, everyone. One final thought. My friend Glenn told me to say this, that the Beg, Steal or Borrow was his first record he ever bought. And because it didn't win, he bit the record, broke it and chucked it in the bin. He was 27 at the time. Thanks very much. Bye.
Well, Mick, honestly. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for all this. Got the A to Z next week, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get the first Eurovision song any day now. And when we do, we're going to grab a few people and just come on straight away and tell you whether we like it or not. So until then, bye.
Bye.